Today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, we'll review the Tigers game against the Pioneers of Denver. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. This past Saturday, the Tigers had a rematch with the team they eliminated last year in the NCAA tournament, the Pioneers of Denver. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Behind, Conan up top, Drenner shoots and scores! Ryan Drenner with his 14th goal of the year, and the Tigers finally on the board 10 minutes into the game. 2-1 Denver. Gets it top right to Colton Jackson. Jackson moves in, shoots and scores. Colton Jackson with the goal. That's his second of the day. That's almost a repeat of the first one he had. And here come the Tigers the other way. Zach Goodrich feeds down low. Drenner shoots and scores. And credit Tyler Mays with that goal.
Shuffling guys in and out.
Young behind a Drenner, feet in front, shot, score, and there it is. Mr. Laundry comes in with his first career goal.
Just good ball movement and a great feed by Drenner. Laundry finds himself naked on the crease. Catch, finish. Tigers get their third goal of the ball game. Joe's not a dodger. He's got a short stick. He's got to take advantage of it.
Turns, shoots, and scores. What a quick shot by Joe Sider. With 1:22 to go, the Tigers cut it to 7-4 as Joe Sider with his 11th goal of the year. Cannizzaro fires and scores. His second goal of the day, and it's now 9-4 Denver with 3 seconds left in the third quarter. Goodrich brings it over midfield. Zach comes down. Zach shoots, scores! Tigers down 10-6. Zach Goodrich with his 4th. So back-to-back goals and a little life here with 9:25 to go. Coming down, feeds behind the Drenner. Drenner in front. Goodrich turns and scores! Zach with his second of the day, and the Tigers down 3, 11-8. 6:25 to go. Wines gets double teamed, ball knocked loose, still loose. And then a shot off a deflection, and Walker knocks it home. 12-8, his 4th goal. Feeds at the Bullwicky. Down low, shot, score! Tyler Conan, 12-11 with 22 seconds left.
Senior attackman Ryan Drenner tied his season high of 6 points as the Tigers fell to Denver 12-11. As always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen. And Coach, this Denver game was one where the offense really didn't get started until late in the third quarter. You scored 1 goal at halftime, 3 goals in the third quarter, and then 7 in the fourth. What was it late that you weren't able to do early on?
Score goals, flat out. No, I think we gave their goalie confidence early on. Unfortunately, he made a really nice save on Ryan's first attempt in our first possession. Ryan snuck near side pipe. He catches it, tries to go 5-hole, and the kid does a good job flopping, which we knew. We wanted to get that shot around him. You bury that shot, in pretty much any game. A goalie makes a save early, that snowballs into a second save, a third save, a fourth save. You start seeing the ball. You get to him early. Typically, you can, have success. That gives your team confidence and going from there. And I'm not putting it completely on Ryan. We had more opportunities in that possession, but I think we made it easy on him early with some of our shot locations and missing the cage, and he gets a couple, and he played a good game. And first half we didn't challenge him in spots that we should have and needed to. We put the ball at his feet, or we missed the cage, and that's pretty easy for Division I goalies to make those saves.
Going into the game, Cannizzaro was their leading scorer. You shut him down early, but it was other guys like Jackson that would come in and score a couple of goals. Then Cannizzaro got to you late. When you look at your defensive effort in that ball game, what do you take away from it?
It wasn't great, kind of across the board with our whole team. It was pretty consistent there. It was decent. At times we flew around, but we also didn't challenge shooters as much. We didn't help. Colton Jackson's one of the better downhill dodging middies in the country, and we leave Jack on an island. Jack's really good, but still we got to be able to support and help. We weren't sitting where we needed to be, on the adjacents to kind of force them to move the ball. We didn't challenge shooters enough at times with regards to making them move their feet to get shots off. A couple of them were kind of those lucky bounce garbage goals. One, we make a save, it ricochets off right into their stick, and the guy's got an empty net. Their 12th goal of the game, it's a scrum. Jack Adams has the ball in his stick. Unfortunately, it gets popped out, and it falls right into Ethan Walker's stick, and he fires at home, falling down. And Ethan had a great game. He's a great shooter. We kind of knew that coming in. So they're a good team, one of the top teams in the country for a reason. And you give them more opportunities. You don't put them in uncomfortable situations. They're going to capitalize.
A couple of things that you can take away that were good in that ball game. First of all, the clearing game was much better. You guys were able to clear the ball without too much difficulty. And then also, you continue to cause turnovers. They had 17 turnovers in the game, so you have to be happy about those two areas.
Yeah, we wanted to be more aggressive in our ride. We thought like we could maybe turn some of those turnovers into quick goals, and obviously get some momentum going in our favor leading into that game. And be able to kind of trap them in the middle third of the field. And we did a good job of that. Clearing wise, they threw a 10-man at us early, which they hadn't shown all year. They're not, usually a very aggressive riding team. They like to get their defensive personnel on, much like we do. But they threw a 10-man at us. I thought our guys did a good job handling that and get it. We had a couple potential transition looks out of the 10-man. We just didn't, the first one, we ended up throwing a bad pass, and, Cole throws one to Conan and throws it behind him. That could have been a goal. That could have been I think a 1-1 game, and then, things are moving, and they probably don't do 10-man the rest of the game, once you break that. So, in that aspect of the game and our riding and clearing, it was good to see us, succeed there, and obviously we want to continue to emphasize that.
You had two of the top face-off men in the country in Baptiste for Denver and Alex Woodall for the Tigers. Baptiste won the overall matchup, but Alex didn't let him really get any fast break situations. I mean, he was able to contain Baptiste to a certain point.
Yeah, Baptiste very rarely won the ball. He won the ball against Harriman when Harriman got in there for his 3 reps, and I want to say maybe 3 other times against Woodall. Every other time, Woodall was winning the ball. I mean, was the first one clean, just pops it to his right, and we're out. The other times where they're locking horns and then grinding, Alex was able to win the clamp, pull the ball out. We just didn't do a good job, either one, having a clean opportunity at the ball and picking it up, which we did a few times, and 2, our wing play just wasn't reading what was happening at the X and where the ball was going to be coming out. And that's a fault of mine, especially with working with those guys and not getting enough reps and familiarity with our communication and where we need to direct the ball there. And we weren't doing a good job staying in position. We were getting in front of their wing guys, so when that ball did pop out, they kind of had the easy advantage at it, whereas we always try to emphasize staying behind. You know, as you get closer to the face-off guys, staying behind those guys, so when the ball pops out, you can steal that guy on the inside and get to the outside. So we had great opportunities. Alex, you know, battled and got the ball out for us. You know, unfortunately, you know, we weren't able to pick it up, you know, to reward his effort against the #1 guy in the country, and we definitely won that battle.
Non-conference play is over now. So you finish at 4-3. I know you like to be much better, but what do you take away from these first 7 games of the year?
We're consistently inconsistent. We've shown to be really good at times, but shown to be, you know, very, very poor in our execution and sometimes our fight. I think over the past 2 games, we've kind of lacked some of that will of want to win throughout the game, and that's something that we got to get back to obviously go into a very, very tough CAA conference going forward with tough competition. So we got a lot of good parts, and we got to continue to put it together.
All right, that will do it for us on today's episode of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Join us next time as we preview the Tigers' CAA opener against the Dragons of Drexel. For head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.